Hello everyone, my name is The Real Film Guy, and welcome back to my channel, Stoyan Film Productions. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit differently than usual, and I'm sorry I wasn't able to get any Christmas special out yet, but hopefully I'm going to make up for it now. Today we're going to be looking at the Rocky series. And not just that, we're going to be ranking them from my least favorite to my most favorite. Now the Rocky series holds a very special place in my heart. It's not only a very well-directed series, a well-acted series. The drama is really high, and I don't really think that there's anything much wrong with it. Only problem I have with it is number 5, but I'll get to that in a bit. As you can see, I have all the movies on DVD, the first 4, 5, 6, and then Creed. I saw Creed 2, I did a review of it, that's up on my channel, so feel free to check it out. And now, on to the ranking. Now I'm going to be judging these movies based on how well they're made, they're acted, how much it tries to do what it succeeds in, and virtually how it is as a whole in comparative to the rest of the series, and not just movies in general. So, let's do this. On to number 8. And at number 8, we have the lowest of the series, Rocky V. Rocky V tried to take the story back to its humble roots like it did in the first two, trying to ignore all the meatheadedness and macho-ness of parts 3 and 4, which, in my personal opinion, I really enjoyed those aspects of the sequels because they didn't try to do what the first two did. They tried to do their own thing, and I appreciate them for doing that. What's the good stuff of Rocky V? Well, I do like the ending, Street Fight. The acting is really good. I like how it showed the side effects of facing someone who's twice as tall as him and twice as strong, and how it can really backfire on someone. I like that Rocky tried to take someone under his wing and try to make them his own apprentice. I thought that was very nice. What are the bad stuff? Well, virtually everything else. The biggest problem I have with this movie is that, as I said before, it tries to take it back to the humble roots, but it doesn't really succeed at all. Why? Because it's also trying to clash with the meatheadedness and macho-ness of 3 and 4, which is also in this movie. And I feel like those are two very conflicting tones, and they don't really mesh well together at all. However, I do recommend checking out the Rocky V Director's Cut. I'll put the link in the description down below. But it's actually much better than the theatrical cut is. It's like 1,000 times better. It fixes some story narrative issues. There's not as much clashing between the themes. And again, the acting's really well in it. So overall, Rocky V isn't too bad of a movie. I do like what they were trying to go for, but another movie in the series showed that they could do it, and they could do it much better. I'm gonna have to give Rocky V a B-. I don't consider any of these movies bad. Some are just better than others, because number 7 is much better than number 8. So, on to number 7. And coming in at number 7, we have the 6th installment in the series, Rocky Balboa. This movie takes place roughly 20-something years after the events of the original series, and focuses on Rocky Balboa and how he's lost his wife, his kids all grown up, and he's trying to face with the harsh reality that he can't box anymore. But he realizes he really wants to do it, so he decides to take on the heavyweight champion of the world, Mason "The Line" Dixon. Now, the acting in this is all phenomenal. I am sad that they did kill off Adrian, but that doesn't make me want to hate this movie. In fact, I think it actually what drives the emotional force behind this movie. The story narrative is set up in a pretty conventional way, similar to how the other Rocky movies are formulated, but that doesn't disprove my enjoyment of this movie at all. In fact, I do like that they tried to play it safe-ish and tried to improve on what they did in the last one, but they did it better. I like how they brought back Little Marie. They brought back Duke the Trainer. Rocky Balboa is an imperfect but entertaining movie, so I'm going to grade Rocky Balboa an A-. And coming in at number 6, we have the excellently directed film Creed. Now, Creed is a sequel to Rocky Balboa, but it's also a spin-off, because now it focuses on the story of Adonis Johnson, the son of Apollo Creed, who was killed in Rocky IV. Now, after a 9-year hiatus from this series, they finally decided to bring it back, and they brought it back, and they gave a huge punch, and it totally paid off. This revitalizes the series, and it takes it back to what it was. It celebrates the legacy of the Rocky series, while also introducing new characters, and yeah, it's very similar to how the other movies are, but that doesn't mean it's a bad movie. No. In fact, this movie is amazing. I love the montage. I love the one-take fight round. That was just excellent. What I do dislike is that the villain isn't as memorable as some of the other villains in the Rocky series are, but he's still good for what he is. You understand his motivation, so I like that they did that. And they finally did what Rocky V failed in doing. Rocky actually trained someone, and he succeeds to pass the torch. That's what Rocky V should have been, but it wasn't. But at least they did that now. They learned from their mistakes, and it made a kick-ass movie. The directing was great. I love the camera angles, and the color grading looked excellent. The sound design was phenomenal. So overall, I'm going to give Creed an A. And coming in at number 5, we have Rocky 3, the third installment in the series, and the first one to be directed in the 80s, so it was a very different time. And right off the bat, you can definitely tell that it's taking a much different tone from the first two. It starts off with the eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight. You know what I mean? It starts off very differently. It starts off with the montage after the opening recap. It has a very macho attitude. It's really meat-headed. He even fights Hulk Hogan and Mr. T in the same movie, so that was very entertaining to see. Now, all these movies have good actors in them, and they do their damn best, and Rocky 3 is no exception. And I really do like that Apollo Creed, the former nemesis of Rocky Balboa, is now training him to beat the crap out of Mr. T. Now, this is going to be a little odd, but I do think Rocky 3 is better than Creed, and overall, I can't really find any flaws with this at all. I just watched it last night, like 12 hours ago, so it's still very fresh in my mind. Mr. T gives an excellent performance. The acting is all great. I love the drama in this. It's very sad when Mickey dies. I love how the final fight is actually in real time, so it's very creative. Where the first two had montages that just skip through most of the fight, Rocky 3 does it differently, and Creed also does it differently, which is something I forgot to mention. I really love Rocky 3, and I couldn't be happier with what they did. So overall, I'm going to give Rocky 3 an A+. And coming in at number 4, we have Creed 2. Creed 2 was an excellent movie all the way around. I really loved the drama with Ivan Drago and his son, and how they're just trying to do the best, and his wife left him. All the drama is heightened from the first one, and I really love what they did. All the acting is phenomenal. The final fight is excellent. The sound design and the way the music comes through each speaker as it was in the cinema, from one side to another, from one side to another, it was excellent all the way around. I can't believe that 8 installments in this franchise isn't running out of steam. I really hope that they don't make any more, because this was a perfect way to bookend the stories of Rocky Balboa and Adonis Johnson. And as I said in my review, I'm going to give Creed 2 an A+. Coming in at number 3, we have the original Rocky. I really, really do like this movie. And I know that you may be wondering why I don't have it at number 1, but there's 2 other movies, and you can probably guess what they are, that I think are better, and they improve on what this one did. Now, by all means, this movie should not have worked. It shouldn't have worked at all. This was just a very low-budget, cheap movie that they were trying to make that Stallone needed so that he wouldn't be broke anymore. But because of passion and the way everyone was involved in it, I think that they actually succeeded in what they were trying to do. This is an excellent movie all the way around. I really do love the acting. I really love the final fight and the way that it shows going the distance and how it's all about winning until you realize it's not all about winning. It's just about doing your best and going as far as you can possibly go. I really do love that message. It's an excellent message for this movie. And I really do love Burgess Meredith as Mickey. He's the old broken down mentor and he plays it really well. Apollo Creed is the stereotypical villain, but he's also firm and fair. Adrian is a very supportive character, and she wants Rocky to see him do his best. And Paulie is just a dick in this. He's a real big dick.
She's a freaking loser. Sometimes she gets me so crazy, I could split her head with a razor.
Adrian ain't sharp. Adrian is a loser.
Hey.
She's pushing 30 freaking years old, and if she don't watch out, she's gonna end up dying alone. And you're gonna end up dying alone.
Hey, I don't...
Tired of you being a loser. Oh, a turkey in the oven. You want the bird? Go in the alley and eat the bird. All in here, and it's cold in here. It stinks in here, you stink. And I don't raise you to go with this scumbag. That's right, I'm not good enough to meet with Gazzo. Woo, that's what I think of Gazzo. Now you're a big shot fighter on the way up. You don't even throw a crumb to your friend Paulie. He gets you the best. Get on you. Don't you forget it. You owe me. You owe me.
But, you know, you still gotta love him for it. And Rocky's the person everyone wants to be. He's the man who is down on his luck, but he gets a shot to be someone. Overall, I'm going to give Rocky an A+. I really do love this movie, and I highly recommend you check it out. On to number 2. Coming in at number 2, we have Rocky 2. Now, this was a very difficult decision, but then I realized something. Rocky 2 tried to take the story of the first one and elevate it to the next level. Sylvester Stallone had a lot to prove when making this movie, and that it wouldn't just be a carbon copy clone of the first one. And in my opinion, I think they succeeded really well. He showed that there is more story to tell, and it's not over. and it doesn't have to have a fairy tale ending. In fact, there's quite a bit of drama about this. Right after the fight with Apollo Creed, he gets his money, he marries Adrian, but then after he spends all his money on buying houses and cars and gets stuff, he has to get back into a job. And they're running out of money really quickly. And since they have a new baby on the way, that heightens things to the next level. And not only that, Adrian falls into a coma during childbirth. So there definitely is a lot at stake in this film. Back to all these movies, and especially this one. This one has an excellent soundtrack all the way. I really love the opening credits when the ambulance is driving by through the streets and that song plays. I really love that song. It's an excellent touch. I really love the scene where Rocky tries to chase the chicken. That was a very hilarious scene. The montages in this are excellent. I really love the acting. Virtually everything about this movie is great, and it's definitely a worthy follow-up to the original. So again, I'm going to give Rocky 2 an A+. Coming in at number 1, we have Rocky 4. Rocky 4 would have been a very, very difficult story to tell. Where do you go from Rocky 3 after he got the title back and he said he would have been retired? Well, I'll tell you where they go. They go in a very cartoony direction, but I love it for that. A new man by the name of Ivan Drago comes on the scene and is part of the Russians, and they want their chance to become the heavyweight champion of the world, and so Apollo Creed challenges him to a round and ends up getting killed in the ring. So it's up to Rocky to get his revenge on Ivan Drago
and make sure Apollo Creed didn't die in vain.
This doesn't sound like the plot of a Rocky movie. It sounds like a martial arts movie. They pull it off really well. This is an excellent movie. I love everything about it. The editing in the fight scenes and in the montages is by far the best I have ever seen in this series or ever. Everything about this movie is just excellent. By all accounts, yes, this is a live-action cartoon, but I love it for being a live-action cartoon. I wouldn't want to have it any other way. I love the fight scenes, I love the montages, I love the acting, I love everything about it. There's virtually nothing wrong with this movie, and I think that it is the best of the best. So without further ado, I'm going to give Rocky 4 an A+. I really hope you enjoyed this ranking. Everyone, have a happy holidays and a happy new year, and I'll see you in 2019. Peace out and bye.